Oh, nerds! It's me. Is my microphone working? He- Hello? Wait, okay, you hear me. Great. Wonderful. It looks weird. Again, I'm psyching myself out with my own settings. Alright, great. Okay, great. Hello, nerds. I'm here once again, sabotaging my own intro. It's me, Elf. Hello. Today's GM stream, which is GM prep number 17, comes at the end of a rather dramatic cliffhanger that I've left last week for the actual show, which is pretty good. It's pretty helpful. So, to get you up to speed, those of you who maybe haven't seen the episode, we finally got to the Sunderer and have basically made our way through the entirety of that little dungeon that we wrote last time via using our various zones. You may remember, if we go to our quests and we open up Sunderer, we have our various Sunderer sections. Some very well received Sunderer sections. I feel like the players in general were enjoying it, impressed with our concoctions, which is what you want. You want reactions, right? I feel like the ATSD Hermit Crab definitely got plenty of reactions from the players. They were many and varied in their responses to that, which is good. It's kind of like a how dare you do something so awesome but so terrifying, which is nice. Let's see. So we ended the episode with the corpse of our Sith Inquisitor or whatever, our dark side user, reaching out his hand and grabbing Xyle's wrist when they tried to touch the amulet that they had clutched to their chest. Now, the question remains in my mind as to whether or not that is a hallucination or not, because my immediate thought was to make it some kind of force echo or force vision from this particular body, and that the body itself doesn't actually move for anybody but Xyle, and that Xyle's the only one who can see it affecting them, and then they could have a short dialogue or something in isolation with this entity, with this Sith Inquisitor, and maybe get some information that way. I sort of thought we might do it that way. But there are many and varied options. The other option is that we just have a fight, basically. We just create a combat around this self-sustaining body that's been here in some kind of weird dark side hibernation for however long. And create a conflict with all the players. Yeah, and I think chat, you are correct in that giving Aki a chance to roleplay would be nice, but also I feel a lot of the direction of the way that the narrative is going is putting Xyle in this position to interact with things in a unique manner that is not. I don't want to make them the main character. You know what I mean? I always feel that you gotta avoid sort of like pointing everything towards one person when it comes to your main narrative. But I think that's also just me being super sensitive to that in regards to like having had bad experiences with it before myself. Where it seems like, one person or the other person is sort of like getting the various like things directed to them. The real kicker though is if we're gonna do a scene, like a force related scene, then we need to come up with like some stuff that this guy might tell her or might say, or that might be in this like conversation. Not that I can't just like, ramble off some dark side shit. Oh yeah, them. You're correct. Yeah. My bad. Yeah, I think it's true. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll the real revealing stuff I want to happen when they get the amulet back to the Force Ruins, because I think that's where we're gonna be able to say like there are other temples, there are other amulets. They've been stolen from this planet over the course of like many years. They have been like scattered around the sector, and getting them back and bringing them back here is like what Vode wants, like to reactivate, the ability to grow things here, including the Vodian like people. So I think it's one of those like you can resurrect this like long lost civilization and like sort of restart the gene seed, quote unquote, which I quite like as a thing. I know we talked about it before, but my brain just keeps going back to it as like a main point. Thus, of course, like making Vode its own place, like anchoring it in the universe is not like a stronghold of scum and villainy, and in fact, like, maybe the like ancient Vodians have some solution to like the local issues, like that kind of stuff. But yeah, like this idea that like for each of the places we're gonna go, there's an object to recover on a baseline. And it's very easy to make object to recover into an incredibly complicated situation, right? Because it's like, it belongs to somebody important. It belongs to someone powerful. It's been lost for centuries, but there's some rumors about where you might be able to find it, because these things have been taken like so long ago. Yeah, I think that's kind of my like plan. And that's what I want to show them when they get to back to the Vodian ruins, the Force ruins, and put the artifact in there. I want the like council of Vodian like elders or what have you, the like little council that we've talked about before, to sort of appear in a ghostly way, and have one of them like speak to the players in a sort of like a weird vision, where I can reveal like language stuff and color stuff and all the fun descriptions. It's like what I'm planning to do there. But there's some stuff to do before we get there, obviously. I think the encounter with the Sith Inquisitor will be sort of a force of will kind of thing, like trying to force Xyle to leave the amulet where it is, or like trying to like overcome them in some way. Even if it's just narratively, I think that would be really cool. There's just like this dark side energy that is just like lingered with this body, from all of the time that it's been like sitting there stewing. And I'd love to put in the room some like revealing documents, or some like information about why the Empire like has this, why this Inquisitor is interested in it, like some vagaries of like this planet is important in some way, is like a central point in some way that like even the Empire was interested in their like, the allegory is like if the Empire are Nazis, right? Like if we're going like the World War II comparison, which like basically they are, the Sith stuff is always like that weird division that's looking for the Ark of the Covenant. You know what I mean? Like they're the like, it's not good enough that we do war stuff and are horrible. We need magic as well to prove that we're the greatest, like it's that whole thing. So it's like this guy was part of like this organization looking for these like force anomalies, these like weird things that could help the Empire in some way, and like being able to grow ships or being able to like use the organic construction method that Vode like possesses to their own, like bending it to their own will by having all of the amulets and resetting the planet's like gene seed, quote unquote, would be like a very like weird Empire thing to do, like it just seems good, it's like a villainous intent, and it makes for a good villainous intent for Utico as well, because like if they can get control of the planet, then they will truly have control of the area, and like can really, really make a stab at things. Raiders of the Lost Ark Star Wars edition. I mean, sort of like all of Star Wars is a little bit like that, right? It's always like we have this like trump card. We're looking for this trump card, or the secret 100-strong fleet of Star Destroyer fleet that's been sitting on a planet unknown for fucking however long, or like we've cloned and resurrected Palpatine, or there's this one alien admiral who's smarter than everyone else and who's leading the Empire to victory, or like there's always like one or two of these like weird things happening in Star Wars that like deviates from the sort of like normal progression of what you would think they would do, right? It's always like, here's this like weird magic thing because weird magic things are real, and like the Force does things, and people are, special or whatever, there's a lot of that. I don't want to lean too hard into the like you are destined for this stuff, because I feel like that is boring. But yeah, there's just like a lot of good pulp that we can like dig into, and I think making it a fetch quest, I know it sounds boring on the offset, but making it a fetch quest means that we can do some, like we end season 1 when they leave Vode, then we start season 2 and we hit like 3, 4, 5 different locations, grab these amulets or fail to grab them, or they're not there, or the players get tricked or whatever, that kind of stuff could happen too. And that's kind of our season 2, and season 2 ender would be like getting back to Vode and putting the amulets like in place and like having that kind of thing going on. And it's like maybe the villains get some of them before they do, like maybe the Utico guys get there first, maybe the Empire has one and they've got to go to like some Imperial stronghold to rescue it from a vault, or there's just like so much good possible stuff with like, yes, it's a fetch quest, but we can make it like an exciting fetch quest, like a series of complicated situations around several important artifacts, right? The other thing is I want to give the amulet some effect on its own. I think there will be like some limited effect to the Vodian like biosphere if you have it, like, Vode will consider you an ally in the same way that like it does with the Fog Wardens, for example. Like if you have the amulet, like there is some like degree of influence that you can exert over the like Vodian biosphere. So yeah, I think the idea would be to make it sort of a race, like a Team Rocket race, because they're gonna find this information on the Star Destroyer, like a little bit of it, but so's Utico when they get there. So's Utico when they get there. So are other people. Other people are gonna know about this, right? And then it's like, how far does the rumor spread? Like, who is interested in this? How much money, like, how many credits, how much money is being put into, like, getting it done? Like, from all sides. Like, the Empire has this data. Are they still acting on it? I mean, they've been reeling for a while, but maybe it's time to bring in some, Imperial agents or something. Maybe the Chiss find out about it. Like, we could do anything with it. There's just, like, so many possible options. That's great. My basic plan for the next couple of episodes, including, like, my basic plan for next episode is we do some Sith Inquisitor Force related stuff. With Xyle, I think there will be some, like, light side, dark side, like, Force rating related stuff going on. I want to really, like, I want to unlock that potential for them. They've been looking for a reason to buy the Force sensitive exile tree. And, like, narratively, I think this would be a good time to do it, either now or when they put the amulet into the ruins. I want to do, some spooky stuff with that. None of it has to be, like, particularly impactful. It just needs to be spooky, and then information about, like, what the Empire was doing here, or, like, why the Sith Inquisitor was on board, maybe, like, in some places. People have named him. I remember us coming up with a name. I believe it was Mott Seldir was the name of our Sith Inquisitor, like this. I should probably just type that down somewhere in my NPCs just in case I need him again. Let's add a Mott Seldir in here just in case I need him again. I just want to have the name. There we go. Ex-Imperial Inquisitor, because he's super dead. Get it? But, hey, they might find his name on, like, some documents or stuff. The other thing I want to foreshadow with the documents on the Sunderer, or, like, with holo recordings or something, is, like, Mabel's old boss being involved with, like, what the Sunderer was doing in some way. Like, we're going to have, like, a broken recording or something. Or, like, whatever, of, like, looping a little, like, image of this, Imperial doctor slash, like, scientist slash major, who's also part of this, like, weird, science division, this weird magic division, the pulp, the Star Wars pulp division. I love the folders and notes functionality in Roll20. Good to track things when I accidentally pack DM campaign notes like I have done. Yeah, it's really great. It's very, very helpful. Just having everything in a nice reference on the side here. Got the players, got, like, my various quick references, got my various handouts, and I even have all the talent trees on here in case I need them on, like, imported images, which is really cool. It's very helpful. We built all that sort of together while we were doing the early GM streams. Some kind of, like, exactly, motion detectors in the room, kick off a black box recording stump, that kind of thing. But basically, like, I want to just, like, give a couple of like loose ties that they might be interested in that we could, like, follow up on in season 2, sort of this, like, vague foreshadowing that you see in a lot of, like, TV stuff, or, like, especially, like, stuff that's based on, like, books or whatever. You always see, like, oh, we're gonna see that guy in, like, season 2. He gets, like, one cameo in the background or whatever, but he's, like, really important later on, that kind of thing. I just want to, like, throw a little bit of that in. So season 2 confirmed. As far as I'm aware, I'm good to go. I've been given the green light to just like keep doing this until somebody tells me to stop. I will check in, obviously, but I'm pretty confident that I'm good to go. I'm pretty confident that I'm good to go. Yeah, nothing has been expressed to me about any of that. Yeah, we need to pull the Moncal government in at some point, and the Chiss secret agents are gonna be part of this campaign in some way because we need to like get Xyle's complication rolling, and I'm planning to do that as soon as it gets rolled, but it hasn't yet. You know, I have some stuff in the background for that. But getting back to what we were saying, once they grab the amulet and get the hell off of the Sunderer, they're gonna run into like a Utico blockade. Like Utico is going to arrive while they're inside. We're gonna have Zalarax there with a bunch of goons and like various vehicles, like pulling up or like in conflict with Bohusak and them outside, like while things are like kicking off. So once they get outside, they're gonna have to deal with like either a combat situation or a runaway very fast situation. So I'm gonna sort of present that to them as they exit, and it'll be like it's basically just to confirm that Utico has arrived. They are going to get as many assets as they can while they're there. You know, and they're going to learn the things that you're going to learn. The main Utico force of this mission is the droids, right? Yes. Yeah. A lot of Imperial brand droids. So we'll see what Mabel wants to do with it. But knowing this team, they won't want to fight. Like the three players that I have at the moment and the three characters that I have at the moment are very non-combat focused. Very non-combat focused. Yeah, actually, Bud Prince, it did. I was gonna make it overwhelmingly strong. Now it's possible to fight, basically. It was gonna be like a lot more people before Omni tipped off the Fog Wardens. More were coming. So there was like I had a measurement in my brain that I just adjusted based on that. Like Bohusak and them are managing to hold off this gang with like a group of Jawas with ion blasters and various improvised like mechanical weaponry. Yeah. But so like yeah, there's gonna be a conflict with Utico, like a violent conflict with Utico. I know that my players probably aren't gonna want to fight like straight up because that's just not what they do. Like none of our three characters, Omni, Mabel, or Xyle, is like particularly a fighter. They're not like all out shooty people. Like our shooty guy was Kryno, and Kryno is not around right now or is working with Utico. It's hard to say. So I don't think they're gonna wanna like actually engage in combat. You know? I don't think they're actually going to want to engage in combat. So I will give them ways to get around this stuff in a manner that like doesn't require it. But like our chain of events for next episode is stuff with the amulet, information from the Star Destroyer, then leaving, and then being impeded by Utico upon leaving the Sunderer. Deciding whether or not they want to help Bohusak and them get out, or if they're going to get out on their own, because that's like another big point. Like, are you going to help the Jawas? Or are you going to help the Scavs? Like, get out of there too? You gonna get like some assistance for your friends, or are you just gonna like ditch out? I imagine that Xyle will want to go 100% right away, immediately to the Force Ruins. And I'm gonna have Panakata waiting near the entrance for them, I think, to just be like, okay, good, you got it, and sort of like escort them through the ruins back to where they need to be. And then we have our force vision, to come. Things I'll mention wanting to go to the Wardens first. Well, if they go to the Wardens first, then that's even better. I can have Panakatabi there. Crab battle. Unleash the crab. I mean, if they decide to figure out how they might be able to do that, then I'm all for it. Giant ATSC hermit crab. It came in from outside somewhere, so that suggests that there are more giant hermit crabs somewhere on Vode, which is just terrifying. Excuse me. Crab versus Chainsaw Rancor. But yeah, so we've previously noted that 3 is a valuable number. So if we have 1 amulet, if we have 1 amulet already, we would assume that there are 2 other temples, which would make 3. And then I'm gonna have 1 wild card, 1 wild card amulet that's like a balancing point, like a dark side thing, for our horrible Vodian dark side creature that we've hinted at and talked about a lot in the background, which means that you've got 3 possible points to go to rescue these things, to bring them back here. One of which will be, a little more difficult to hold on to, I think. I always find it amazing that a GM/DM can plan for things. Can ever do that in games with how my players are. I mean, I am planning vaguely because the players may do things that I don't expect it at all, right? My plan is merely thinking into the future about what could happen and where I would direct them were I given the opportunity to do so. If my players decide they don't want to do anything that goes the way that I thought, then I improvise and I figure it out from there. Alternately, my advice would be, if your players are just willfully ignoring what you've prepped, maybe just politely tell them that you haven't prepped anything for that, and that if they want to play whatever game you're playing today, that maybe we go in the direction where you have some level of prep, so that you can be the best GM that you can be. You'll find that actually works. I have found anyway that actually works quite well as a director for various groups when they're at a loss for what they're gonna do and they start doing wacky weird stuff. You're I don't have anything ready for that. It's cool if you want to do it, just give me a week to figure it out or whatever, but can we engage with the thing I have planned, maybe? Just stepping out of character and giving people that kind of advice can be really helpful. If they come face to face with the Utica force, it makes fighting very more likely. So maybe portend the troops by having them go very loud to get in. Yeah, I mean they're gonna be able to hear the battle by the time they get near the exit for sure. I'm gonna forecast that there is badness outside. I wouldn't just have them emerge into a horrible sort of territory. The idea is that Utica hasn't actually been able to get inside. They were gonna be able to get inside, and there was gonna be some fighting on the way out of the Sunderer inside the Sunderer, but the players decided to go to talk with the Fog Wardens and get them to intercept the Utica forces. So most of those forces are tied up dealing with Fog Warden disruption, so they haven't been able to get in yet. Which is the general idea, I think. But yeah, so I have a feeling they're gonna want to go to the ruins pretty quickly, and that going back to Utica City, going back to Vode City, is is a pretty dangerous prospect, given that Utica isn't their best friend, or we'll know by then that they're not their best friend, I sort of wonder if Zyle will talk to Haverford at all, before they like get the hell out of there, or maybe try and take Haverford with them on the ship, because I feel like that academic is a valuable resource for them if you're talking about like Vodian history or like Vodian language, that kind of stuff. The ship is fixed. The ship is ready to go. Yeah. Bohusak gave Omni all the pieces that were needed for it back when they first made the deal for the records for the Sunderer. So I think we're good to go on that. I will check in with Dave to see if they have actually done anything with it, but that is a fun possible complication. And once they go and talk to this like vision of the Vodian past, the council's like lead force ghost, quote unquote, will state that there are other amulets to activate, that this is not the only one, this is not the only place, and that they should take that amulet with them, because if they leave it here, it may be lost. Like, it may be lost again. So that they like, you know, you gotta take it back out with you, and then when you come back with all of them, you gotta go to all the temples and like put them all in. Maybe a good time to have Zala show up. Yeah, I definitely want to have them have like a face-to-face confrontation with our wonderful Zelarax. I'm almost thinking I want her to stop them at the gangplank of their own ship. You know what I mean? Like she's there with like 3 or 4 Yutiko goons, like ready to intercept them while they're trying to leave. And then, yeah, if she wins that fight, she'll take the amulet and, like, tell them to fuck off and never return. And then it's like, you gotta get the first amulet back from Zala when you get back with the others. Which is, like, a whole thing, which could be fun. Yeah, I like that. I think that's pretty good. That's a pretty good plan. I feel like I have a good plan here. It's nice. It's good. It's helpful. How much freedom do you want to give them once they're off Vode? I'm going to have them like know vaguely where they need to go. So I'm gonna like suggest that these things are in the Vodian sector. I want them to do a little bit of information gathering on their own, because I don't want to just like lead them by the nose to objective and then objective and then objective. But the great thing about, like, we punch in some coordinates and we head off, like, is unless they've got a destination particularly in mind, we can put whatever destination we want in front of them. You know what I mean? If they want to, like, astronavigate to Coruscant or whatever and try and, like, report some shit to the Republic or do some crazy stuff like that, you know, that's like, I'm happy to let them do that if that's what they want to do. But their objectives are going to be in the Vode sector, you know? These amulets are gonna be, they're not going to have gone as far as like the entire galaxy. The idea is to keep it like close to where we can keep creating stuff, you know, because when a Star Wars RPG crosses into like territory where it is interacting with canon, it can make things very difficult, right? Like, do I really want to have to play, you know, Luke Skywalker? Not really. You know? Do I want to have them interact with even like some vague canonic figures where somebody will get mad if I mischaracterize something, you know, one way or the other? Not really. I would prefer to like keep it in our own sort of like zone generally, and like use canon to help us make things. But like generally, like there are a million planets in Star Wars and many of them have no information about it, so I might as well make my own. So it's sort of like I'm happy for them to try and do wacky shit, but I would prefer to keep them within our creative zone. Is sort of my take on that. The thing about canon is that people who watch get upset about canon. You can't get upset about something I've invented because it's something I've invented. But Star Wars is one of those things that is, it's one of those things that it has a lot of very passionate people involved in the like fandom of it, right? And that like interacting with canon can sometimes get a little spicy for me as a creator because I also care a lot about those things, and I don't always get it right. I think it's impossible to always get it right, unless I'm like Dave Filoni or something, but I'm not. So I like to keep it in my own space. And we have a couple of great like spaces we can send them. I mean, we've made a couple of planets during one of our previous GM streams. We have the Promenade, our like pirate space station. We have Erdau, our like Imperial nuclear winter bunker prison planet. We have Bezel 6, the paradise vacation planet where the Killians are from. That's like we got a couple of great locations like lined up, and we can always make more if we need them. We probably need to do something sort of like relatively Republic related. That's probably something to think about, though. I don't think it'll come up in the next episode because, like I said, I think we'll have like a brief season break between when they get to vote and take off, sort of thing. Or when they get to their ship and like take off. That's when I want to like sort of cut. So when I sort of want to cut the like if I'm making seasons of things, that's sort of where I want to cut it. Made up a new sentient species and planet if you want that kind of input. I mean, I'm always game for that kind of input, Prince. And if people are like interested in doing like the creative work with me over the course of this project, which is like what the GM streams are for, and stuff like that. We also have a Discord where all of that is done. On the sort of like on the sly behind the scenes, where I take a lot of stuff from the Discord and try and keep up to date with what people are talking about the show and stuff like that. It's really cool. Very, very, very cool. So I think we have like a general plan. We probably need to name the like lead Vodian council member guy. And I know we had a great system of names for like Vodian characters that was put in a rollable table, I believe, from Rowan Mist. Yeah. So like Vodian names are stuff like one born in the glowcap reach room, one born in the glowcap reach room waters of the East Marsh, or one from the fourth sporing of the Great Stump in the Mauve season. Like these are they're all like one from whatever, or one born of, or like that kind of stuff. One born in the blue fields of bleeding milky caps. Oh, definitely Core Zion. And I'm not, like I wasn't at all trying to like, browbeat or whatever. It's just like I know how it goes, Are there plans for the Sith Vodian entity? Yes, I think there's going to be a fourth amulet, and it's going to be related to the Sith entity, the dark side entity, and that amulet is going to have to be like delivered into that entity's hands rather than to like a temple. One grown on the back of the first spire is pretty great. Also, are we going to tempt Zyle towards the dark side? I plan to try with my Inquisitor interaction. That's going to be like the first part of the episode. So, we're gonna do our best. So if I go back to my NPCs, I really should make a Vode folder now that we have like a Promenade folder and a Bezel folder. Should make a Vode folder. The other thing that we need to do is oh my gosh, my brain, stop please. The other thing that we need to do is name Name the Imperial officer that is Mabel's former boss. Need a rank and like, because he's like a scientist, but like a ranking officer as well. Need like a proper Imperial rank and a name for this like harsh, scientist Imperial guy, so that we can refer to him. Follow up, what if they accept? I mean, I will figure that out when we get there. I like one who watches the sunrise. Or one who watches the sun's rise. Oh, there's only one sun. There are multiple moons. Oh, I'm not on the right scene. You guys can't see what I'm doing. Hang on. Bip. I'm just doing my regular thing of adding a note. Let's call him Ancient Vodian Elder. Seen in visions. Speaks for the council. And generally is the leading voice for the players when there is a distinct voice of the Vodian consciousness. Boop. There we go. Easy. One who watches the sunrise. Okay, so let's see. We've got a couple of directors with the military rank of captain. Yeah, director is a good title for sure for like a scientist. Director Torag is pretty great. I like that. But what's his first name? Because Torag would be last name, right? Like Torag was something what Torag, right? Rafidane. I like Torag. We're gonna use that. We're going to use that for sure. I know I'm just adding handouts now because I'm basically just writing notes about them. Because I found the easiest way to run NPC character sheets on Roll20 for this particular game is just to manipulate the dice pool in such a way that it comes out with what you want to roll for the NPCs. Like, if I think this NPC has like two greens and a yellow, then I'm just going to roll 2 greens and a yellow. And here I don't need to make like a whole character sheet for them. It's just like more work than is required. Slap one of the other suggestions in there. Kadak Torag might actually be really good. That has a good flow to it. Kadak Torag. And we'll remember to give him a title, director. Director, and we'll add in here that he has like a military rank of captain, but that he's mostly a scientist / researcher looking into the like Imperial, weird sciences division. Torag holds the military rank of captain, is Mabel's old boss from the research facilities on Vode. Maybe a commander now. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, let's upgrade. Was a captain. Is commander above captain? It is, yes. Yeah, it is. Military rank commanders. Commanders usually naval as well, though. But that's fine. The Imperial stuff is often naval. So Mabel's old boss and research facilities on Vode. Harsh guy. Very dedicated to the old Vader style ideals. Ideals of the dark side. Though he isn't force sensitive himself. he feels like the results of that sort of power tend to outweigh typical military might. And as such, it is the direction of a lot of his research. Trying to unlock force potential in regular non-affected folk, including himself, though he does this mostly in secret. I feel like he's the kind of guy who could be working with Gideon. You know what I mean? Like Moff Gideon has that whole like get the baby Yoda force potential shit going on. Like this is kind of like a similar direction, you know what I mean? Where it's like, can we unlock that kind of potential in like, you know, regular troopers and like whoever we want? Can we give them that kind of power? Sort of thing. I don't know. Like, I feel like that's a pretty good sort of like sideline to have. And when I say Gideon, I mean, of course, Moff Gideon from, what do you call it? Fucking Mandalorian. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, you probably already know that, but, you know, just thought I would clarify. Classified variants of Fog of War called Force of Will. Ooh! I'm gonna write that one down. I like that one a lot. Yeah, he's the kind of guy who would do genetic experiments to give people superpowers. You know what I mean? Like, he's the kind of imperial military geneticist, you know, like sort of like weirdness, that pulpy, yeah, like strange sort of aspect to like any authoritarian empire with their weird science wing. Yeah. You know, he's that sort of person. Maybe come up with a Chiss antagonist for Xyle as well. I feel like we probably more need to focus particularly on making sure that Omni has some kind of like conflict. Yeah, Mon Cal for Omni. Is this nerd dabbled in making droids force sensitive? For cyborgs, I mean, you know, how much biological matter is required to make something living enough for it to be considered relevant by the Force? If Darth Vader could choke people to death with the mere thought of it, then there must be some sort of threshold that is considered acceptable, because he was more machine than man. Even just bounty hunters for Omni's ship, not even Omni. We definitely need to come up with a team of bounty hunters coming after like Omni's ship transponder or whatever, the stolen New Republic ship. Yeah, New Republic bounty hunters, exactly. It's a stolen government asset. Even the New Republic doesn't let that shit just roll. Like, could stuff happening to the ship be part of the obligation role? Yeah. What species was Wat Tambor? I believe he was a Skekkoan. Which I found out by using Google. From the planet Skeko. Or Skekko. Wat Tambor is cool, though. You know, Techno Union guy. Let's see. The bounty hunter section. Yeah, like New Republic cops rather than like actual bounty hunters. Yeah, like a proper like New Republic authority. New Republic meter maid. Yeah, comes after Omni. Yeah, steals the ship. Definitely like part of the obligation role for Omni is going to be the ship like some emergency tracker beacon they haven't noticed, like pinging or that kind of stuff. The great thing with Zyle's particular obligation role is that I can just have a Chiss agent appear out of pretty much anywhere because they're just that good. You know what I mean? Like, the Chiss have this reputation for just being that good at stuff, and it would be easy to just be like, I've been waiting on this ship for 3 days, hiding out in the hold or whatever until you took off, and now I'm here while you're in the void of space to talk to you about whatever, and like bring you in or get you roped in on the conspiracy, or you know what? It's very easy for me to just be like, there's a Chiss agent, you know, like they found you, criminal runaway Zyle. That's what's great about the Chiss. It's just easy to like. It's easy to just be like, yeah, they just appear and disappear like fucking smoke. They're smarter and faster and stronger than everybody else because that's what they're about, you know. What if for extra drama it's someone Zyle knows? And that's the kind of thing I would interrogate Aki about. I would be like, Aki, this person, do you know them? You know what I mean? And like, you just ask people questions about the NPCs that you're introducing right then and there. Have you met this person before? You know? And I tend to do it in the moment because it feels like you can create drama like right then and there that everybody's excited about. Or you can opt out of drama that you don't want. You know what I mean? It's just a quick little tip for getting people involved in your NPCs is to let the players mandate some stuff about them. You know what I mean? Like being like, hey, you know this guy, but like what detail is there about them that you know that like nobody else knows? Or like where did you meet them before? Or like, did they go to the same, you know, training facility as you or whatever? Are they related to you? Or like this kind of stuff. Like getting your players like engaged in the NPC by making it part of their creative process as well, if they're willing to engage on that stuff. Not every player is, obviously, but yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do the same thing with our new director Torag and Mabel, like, and Andrew. You know, ask them questions about that character to then build that character to play them when the time comes. You know, you ask about the history to get details about the history to then use against them. Yeah. Bumping into Chiss agents on an unrelated task, you throw up a red flag is a good drama clock to start. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it all depends on the obligation roles, to be honest. It all depends on the obligation roles. But for today, I'm feeling pretty good about our plan. I'm feeling pretty strong. I'm feeling like we're in a good zone. We've got a great plan coming up, and I don't know how many episodes we're going to have before I want to like bump to the next season, quote unquote. It's something for me to talk to Bunny about once Bunny gets back from vacation. My lovely friend Bunny is on vacation right now, so I don't want to bother them. But they're my liaison community manager extraordinaire who can help me with the details. So I think we're set for next episode for sure. I'm feeling pretty confident about being able to like run it. And we'll just call it there for today, I think. So, what do I need to call out? Oh, yeah. Hello. Yes, I'm Distracted Elf. You can find me at twitch.tv/DistractedElf or on Twitter at DistractedElf if you want to find me for any reason. Those two places are great places to find me. The game that we are currently GM streaming for starts or is played on Fridays at 1 p.m. PST, so right here on this channel. So if you follow Roll20 app here, you'll be able to get notifications about, you know, like when that is happening. And what else? Oh yeah, there's a Discord for this particular show, Star Wars Desperate Gamble, that you should definitely join if you're interested in the creative process behind like getting our stuff, you know, like ready to show to our players. If we're like writing like cool stuff or whatever, NPCs or encounters or even whole planets, like we do that sort of behind the scenes, and I try and keep up to date with everything that gets written there, the ideas and the cool business that goes on. So keep that in mind. Join that if you can. If you're interested in that stuff. What else? The Roll20. If you think you also could benefit from being able to GM with a bunch of nerds across a vast distance, a galaxy even. Actually, I'm not sure it spans a galaxy. The world, certainly. Then you can sign up for free at roll20.net to play tabletop games with your friends from anywhere in the world, basically. It's been really helpful to me in particular for keeping in contact with a whole bunch of people, and I couldn't nearly run this game as simply if I had to do it in my living room. So, roll20.net. It's better than the living room table. That's a bad stinger, but we'll keep it anyway. See you tomorrow, I guess. When we play the game, the Star Wars game. I feel like I get worse and worse at this every time I do it. Like, you'd think my sign-off would get better, but I feel like I just get more and more fumbly. But that's fine. I'm just a huge nerd like the rest of you. So, it's, I don't have to be cool under pressure. Anyway, I'm going to go now. All right, roll20.net. Sign up for it. It's better than your living room table. Okay, bye. Bye, nerds.